You're listening to the TransformationCoach.me podcast, and I'm your host, Adam Shively. Let's get after it. All right, my friends, welcome to another episode of the TransformationCoach.me podcast. It's your buddy, Adam Shively, here in the house with another client strategy session. I'm really psyched about this one because I've got my girl Nancy with me, and she is somebody that I've been wanting to bring on the show because I feel like she is going to be, her story is going to be very relatable to a lot of you. There's going to be a lot of aha moments, so I want you to take good notes and get ready. I know a lot of you work out while you listen to the podcast or while you drive, so you may not be able to take notes then. This may be a two-round listener situation, so let's do it once, make some mental notes, listen to it a second time, and make some actual physical notes. Now, we're going to cover a process that I dedicated an entire podcast to before, which is a process that I call the lifestyle audit. This is one of the most important tools that I feel like I've put together because it's one of those wake-up call tools, and we'll get into the details of that. I will have a link in the blog, so if you go to www.transformationcoach.me, you'll be able to click on the blog link right there. This will be episode number 34. And there'll be a download for a free copy of the Lifestyle Audit. Normally that's a tool that I use for my paying clients, but you guys get that for free because Nancy talked me into that. So shout out to Nancy. Now, I was going to give it to you for free anyway. I've given it away for free, so it's free. It's out there. But I'll have a direct link where you can download that, and that way you can follow along. It's a great tool, and I think you're going to like it. So we're going to dive right in with Miss Nancy here. And the reason I wanted to have her on, she's one of my local clients, a good friend, a good family friend, and she is, like I said, a very typical situation of a very, very busy working parent. And any of you parents that are out there that work a full-time job know how easy it is to where life just kind of swallows up all of that space in your schedule. It's so easy to have a just jam-packed full schedule where you, at the end of the day, you wonder like, wow, where did that day go? And with the lifestyle audit, we're going to dive into that process and talk about Nancy specifically, how she filled it out, and some aha moments that she had. And like I said, I think you're going to be able to relate. So, Miss Nancy, let's talk about you here, girl. Welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you, like I said. So, let's start here. As a mom, or as representing the genre of working parents out there, how do you feel like when you filled this out? How did that make you feel? Did you have any aha moments? Did you have any big realizations?
I did. My big aha moment was realizing where I was making sacrifices that were not necessarily super healthy. My biggest one is I sacrifice a lot of sleep and personal time.
Yep.
So the aha moments came when I realized I could be more effective in the other areas of the audit tool if I could make some time for the areas that I was deficient in.
Right. So the first step of the lifestyle audit, I probably should have said this first, but you know how I roll. I just talk on this. I talk into the mic and things happen. So the first step in the lifestyle audit process is to lay out your hour by hour schedule throughout the day. So you categorize this into, here are how many hours that I sleep, here are how many hours that I work, here are how many hours I spend with my family, here are how many hours I spend on me time or personal time or fitness time or meal prep and all that stuff. So we categorize it out. There is kind of a paint by number system within the tool that you can use, or you can add categories that you feel are specific to your situation. So that's the first step, and that's where Nancy said she realized that, there are some things that I could be shifting around here. And that's the aha that most people have. That's kind of what I was hoping would occur with that tool, is people realize that, dang, I'm spending a whole lot of time at work, and, I spend very little time on personal development or time with my kids or whatever. It's kind of a wake-up call. And with this tool, it's not necessarily like if people take it from start to finish and rock it out and make this huge change, that's great. But really, I'm super happy if it just creates some eye-opening experiences, and it puts you into action where you say, okay, I'm going to make some positive changes, and the momentum is initiated. So that's the real point of this tool. So, Nancy, as a mom, it just seems like a lot of, that maternal instinct kicks in. And I feel like it's just my experience, of course. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet. But it's my experience that working with all of our clients, it seems like moms especially kind of put themselves and their own health last. And I don't know if it's the maternal instinct kicking in or what, but maybe just talk about that a little bit. And when it comes to struggling to find you time, what is going on in your head?
I think when the daily demands are presented to you, everything is in real time. So if your kids need you, that's in real time. You can't put it off. If your job needs you, that's in real time. You have to take care of whatever disaster is on your plate at the moment. So as you're dealing with things as they come, at the end of the day, you have whatever hours are left. So I think to reverse that, or to take a look at it from another angle, to make the commitment to taking care of yourself first so that you can be more productive and maybe be more efficient at taking care of your kids, taking care of your job, and taking care of those other demands. It's a difficult shift to make, but it's something, if you're mindful of it, I think it's completely possible and doable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the tool comes in handy, because it forces you to take that look, and you have the breakdown right in front of you, and then we say, okay, because the next step is improvement. How do we improve? What areas do we want to improve? And we actually map out a perfect scenario, and then the actual action step you take is just improving 3 or 4 of your categories just by 10%. So if you want to spend more time with your kids, we just look for a 10% improvement on what you're already doing, but then we book it. And that's the key to owning your schedule and not letting life just continuously happen and swallow up all that in-between time. Because like Nancy said, it's so easy. Just by the end of the day, you've worked all these hours, you've put out all these fires with your family and your job or whatever, and then it's pass out and do it again the next day. And then 10 years down the road, you're going, where did all this time go? And as you guys know, I think outside of the box. I kind of live outside of the box quite a bit. And this whole time ownership, and I think about even just compensation in general in a real different way. So I break down, most people just think of compensation as money. I feel like that's only 1/4 of kind of like a compensation pie chart. So I feel like the other quadrants of that, there's money, there is lifestyle, there's ego, and there's importance. So there's, we're compensated through money because we work. There's also lifestyle of being able to own our time and doing what we want with that time. There's ego. There's, am I important? Am I, advancing? Am I learning? Am I growing? And then there is impact. Am I doing things that are making a difference through the way that I live? So that's how I look at compensation. So, the way I live my life is it's different. It's different than what a lot of people do. Like I take, out of every 90 days on the calendar, I take 30 days that are just for me, or I call them free days. And that's a system that I learned through a workshop that I go to once a quarter called The Strategic Coach. You should check it out, strategiccoach.com. But they make me book my free days in advance. So that's the same concept as the lifestyle audit, is we're trying to book that time that is critical, that's most important to us, our family time, our personal development time, our me time, our, whether it's meditation or workout time or whatever, we're booking that in advance so that all the buffer stuff doesn't just automatically fill in the gaps and we just miss out on all that. So we're saying this is priority. And so a good example with my work schedule, so I take 30 days out of 90 off. No work, no email, no call, no nothing. I'm not allowed to even think about work. I'm not allowed to even read business books. And so I have to get more efficient with my other parts of my schedule. So I have to be more efficient, make decisions differently. Like there are certain people that don't get my time during my work days because it's not top priority. And that's the way we have to think about our life in general is, is this person they're not just stealing time. It's who are they stealing time from? And the way I view it is this person's taking time away from me and my kids hanging out. So no, they don't get my time. My kids get my time, and they can wait until tomorrow or the next day that it makes sense. So that's what we're kind of encouraging people to do with this whole tool is getting in there, making sure you have some you time, making sure that you are controlling your calendar and your calendar isn't controlling you. All right? So Nancy, recently, I remember you sent me an email. We celebrated this together. You took a day off from work, and it was a you day, right? It was just you.
It was a me day.
So
it was a very conscious me day.
Yeah, I've been encouraging this. So every week I take I used to do Thursday and Saturday, now I do Fridays and Saturdays. Friday is a me day, so it's 80% all about me. I do whatever I want, and then when the kids are home and my wife's at home, it's about them. So kind of before school and after school. But when they're gone at school and work, it's all about me. I can do whatever I want. Then Saturday, it's kind of the flip-flops. It's 20% about me, 80% about family. Those are my recharge days where I can just kind of fill up my tank and attack the rest of my week like I like to do, full blast. So I had been encouraging Nancy. I'm like, dude, you need to take a you day where it's just focused on you. It's all about you, and you can recover, and you can just replenish the Nancy battery. So tell me just kind of how that felt to take that time and how you felt afterwards.
Initially, it was still a little bit guilt-ridden. It took me a lot to just take that plunge and say, I'm taking this day off. But once I made that commitment to myself and sent the kids off to school and my husband went to work, it was really liberating to sit down and realize that the next few hours were all mine. And it felt really good, and it just was refreshing, and it was re-energizing.
No, that's awesome. That's the whole point, is that, and again, everybody that we encourage to do this and to take some you time, that guilt is there. But what we have to realize is that you're coming out of this a better person. So if you're a healthier mom, if you are a less stressed out mom, where does that creep into in other areas of your life? You're going to be a better employee. You're going to be a better mom, have more energy. You're going to be able to focus. If you have some time to focus on you, you're going to have more time and more ability to focus on your kids when, you'll be able to be present with them. So you're not thinking, man, they're kind of wearing me out today. You're like, okay, I have plenty of energy for them today because I took some time to kind of recharge my own situation. So that, that's good. That's good. So I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And for those of you that are out there, there's different situations. Work is a big time eater. Now, Nancy and I represent two different demographics on the work profile. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. She is an employee. She works for a physical therapy business, and she's an amazing physical therapist. I'm a big fan of physical therapists. As you know, I've talked about my wife being a physical therapist. So physical therapists save us all. Thank you. But so with me, with my work, I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs that listen to the podcast. We have control over our time. With either situation, employee or business owner, there's always work to be done. You can always find time to work. I mean, you can always find work to eat up your time more, which is more likely the scenario. So there's always tasks on that checklist that you can be checking off. There are always things to do on either side of the equation. As a boss, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's on us to say, hey, I've got to take a break. I've got to put my free time, my me time first, and then everything else will get efficient around that. As an employee, again, you have to take that paid time off. You have to take your vacation days. If you need a battery recharge day, use that. Tag in your spouse. Tag in your friends. Who can you delegate things to at work? Another great example of this, as an employee, I was doing a coaching call with a client, and she had just been bumped up in position at her work and was just getting things just dumped onto her. And she felt like she was in this new position, and she had to always say yes and take everything on. I was like, dude, delegate. You're kind of a boss now. You have people that want to help you do things. Delegate. And she did it. And she's like, you know what? They were totally psyched about helping me out. It was awesome. I didn't have to do everything. And she got some praise from her boss and everything for doing that. So I feel like that natural instinct of feeling guilty about taking me time, it's there for us all. But, man, we've got to have that. So Does that make sense, Nancy?
Absolutely, it does make sense.
Yeah. So that's going to be there. Like I said, that's just something that we all have to deal with. But just trust me. If you guys have just worked and worked and worked and not taken a true, half day you time. Now, if you're married, what you want to do is talk to your spouse and be like, hey, I need you to handle the kid situation for half a day. I'm going to go do this. I need some recharge time. Plan it in advance. Like, don't just drop it on their lap or anything like that. Or like what I do on my Fridays, my wife, goes to work. My kids go to school. So, I do what I do while they're away, and that kind of is naturally built in. So tag in teamwork. If you're at work, who can you delegate things to? Who can you ask for help? And people will surprise you. So don't be nervous about asking for help. All right. So Nancy, let's dig back in here. As far as the time breakdown, what would you say, like the one or two categories you're like, I need to improve these, 2 or 3 categories the most to improve, quality of life?
As I mentioned earlier, sleep is an area that I tend to sacrifice a lot, and personal time.
Yeah. Like you time.
And me time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the sleep, also, the lack of sleep actually creates a false sense of me spending time with my family, for instance.
Yeah.
So what I set aside as what I would think of as family time, I'm sitting there probably nodding off at the end of the day.
Yep.
So the quality of what I set aside for family time is shot because I'm not sleeping enough, or I'm not taking the me time to take care of myself mentally. So I think lacking in those areas is affecting the areas that I think I'm setting aside time for, but it's really kind of artificial time. Yeah.
I think that's another thing that will hit home for a lot of people is quality. Like, what kind of quality am I getting when it comes to my time with my family, with my time with my kids, your time for yourself? And a lot of it comes down to people don't sleep as much as they need to, and they're halfway there. So you got to think, okay, I get better sleep, everything else gets better. All right, so what else? What else did you look at as far as improving other than sleep?
My personal development time.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my sheet, and it's 0.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know intellectually, I know it's important, but I just don't take the time to do it, and I know that I should.
Yeah. Now, a couple pro tips on this. You got to use time that it's kind of like multitasking, but you can focus more on the learning aspect. So you got to pick something that you're excited about learning. Podcasting is something that I get, listening to podcasts. Nancy, start your own podcast. Although I would listen to that. But listening to podcasts is a great idea. And I'm getting people addicted to it because you can do it while you wash dishes. You can, I walk around the house with my earbuds in while you drive, while you work out, and you are learning stuff. You pick a topic that you're like, man, I would really like to learn more about weight loss or nutrition or just general motivation or relationships or just, science or whatever. You just pick any topic. You can get some really good podcasts going on that and listen to that while you're driving. You can, I forget what the stat is. I've mentioned this before, and I keep on thinking I'm going to look this up, but you can, if you drive around and only listen to educational material, you can get a college degree worth of knowledge, like a 4-year college degree equivalent. I think it's like 2 or 3 years of just driving around. And that's pretty impressive. So just multitasking in that sense of listening and learning in other areas where you can, while you work out, while you drive, and it just makes sense and you're able to do that. So that would be a huge way to get some of that personal development time in. And then I would do something to start the day. And I'm going to help you because I brought you a gift. It's over on the other side. We're recording in the gym, but I brought her a 5-minute journal. So the 5-minute journal, I'm not affiliated, although I wish I was. If anybody knows anybody from the 5-minute journal out there, I would love to get affiliated so I get a kickback off these referrals. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. But the 5-minute journal it literally takes 5 minutes. I've been doing this for a year straight. Actually, I just started. I just finished off the first year of doing this every single day, the first 5 minutes of my day, this last week. So it takes a couple minutes in the morning, a couple minutes at night. You start off your day with gratitude, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make this day great. And then at the end of the day, you write down 3 things that were amazing about the day and 1 thing that you can improve upon. And it's quick, it's easy. So I brought you one of those to do, but just doing something for you the first 5 minutes of the day, and that starts it off. And then you say, okay, I took 5 minutes for myself, because that 5 minutes could get eaten up by anything, whether it's your boss dumping something on you at work, or your kids, doing something or whatever. But you just know that first 5 minutes, that's for me, and then we build from there. So you're going to have that.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. But the 5-minute journal is great. You guys can Google it. It's a great tool. And maybe someday I'll have a link that I can put up that I can get a kickback from. Who knows? Maybe I can get them to sponsor the podcast. Who knows? But that is another kind of a pro tip, is start off your day with something for you and then build from there. Now, what would you have as far as... let's talk biggest danger zone. What would you say right now is the number one thing that is keeping you from going to that next level? Like, Nancy's had great results with her transformation. She's come a long way. She's lost weight, gotten stronger, lost body fat. I think I've got her profile up on the website. You guys can check it out. If not, I will put it up. And but anyway, so what would you say is holding you back from going to that next level, Nancy?
Right now, there's a lot of changes going on in my professional life. I've taken on a lot of extra responsibility, and so the time that it takes away from my family time or just my personal time is my biggest danger zone. I get home at night, meal preparations are a challenge.
Yeah, that's super common. I mean, that's with meal prep. You got to tag in. You got to tag in help. That I know her husband Kyle. He's a good dude. But you got to look at, how can I be more efficient with my time? How can I plan ahead? How can I cook in bulk? How can I get the kids involved? How can I turn this into a family activity where we kind of win in some of those other categories? So that's another tip, is to take your danger zone and then look at the areas you're trying to improve and say, how can I make my danger zone get in line with what I'm actually trying to get more time with? So how can I make this a family activity where we all make a bunch of food together, or the kids are helping me put things in the crock pot, or we're kind of learning about cooking healthy meals together, things like that. So that's another way that you can kind of build in from turning it from danger zone into one of those areas that we're trying to build up a little bit. Now we're running short on time here, so I definitely want to get your opinion on one more thing. What would you say, busy moms and dads, busy working parents out there that are looking to create some more time for their health and fitness specifically, like what advice would you give somebody that's kind of maybe intimidating? Like, I know I dumped this process on you. I'm like, Nancy, I want you to fill this out. You have to do it because I'm your coach and you're my client and you're going to do this. But it's intimidating. Like, taking a look at your life like this can be really scary. And then I've had people do this and they cry. They're like, damn, this shook me up. So what would you have? What kind of advice would you give somebody that's just looking at this, maybe a little bit intimidated to do it, but needs to do it? So what would you tell that person?
I would say take a deep breath and realize that you're worth it, that the time that you invest in yourself will make you so much more of a better parent, a better employee, just a happier person. The quality of the time that you spend on those other areas of your life will improve dramatically if you just make that investment in yourself and see the bigger picture instead of living minute to minute without taking a step back and just looking at your day, the hours in the day and how you're spending them. Yep.
And just being mindful. I mean, that's the key thing, is not just zipping through your day and then all of a sudden it's the end and it's done and you do it again the next day. Because like I said, you'll end up, just wasting years and all that time that could be really high quality time that you miss out on. So that is a true pro tip from Nancy Adams right there. But yeah, that's the key takeaway, guys, is I want you to go through the lifestyle audit process, scary or not. I want you to look at it. I want you to categorize out your time. We all have the same 168 hours in a week or whatever it is, and the breakdown is going to be different for everybody. But the key is trying to continuously improve, and we want to get a little bit better. So just taking that baby step of, we're not jumping straight to the ideal, we're going to jump straight into a 10% improvement, and then book that in advance, and then try to get there. And it's going to make you think and say, okay, I have to switch this around. I have to take away some work time. I've been staying overtime when I don't really need to. I can delegate something. So then, boom, I can be there to put my kids to bed, more special time with them. I can get to bed earlier. I can wake up earlier. It's this springboarding effect. You start doing one thing, then it'll catapult into other areas, and you're going to get some momentum out of it. And that is what we are shooting for. Right, Nance?
Exactly.
That's right. All right, Nancy Adams said it first. All right, guys, I think that is good for today. I want you to dive into that lifestyle audit process. Remember, there's going to be a link in the show notes and in the blog. Just go to www.transformationcoach.me, and I will hook you up. All right. Let me know what you thought of this episode. I've been really enjoying these strategy sessions because I feel like we can dig in the real issues that you guys are dealing with, and I can show you some ideas, talk about ideas to help you solve those danger zones and those come up with strategies and help you actually make some progress. And that's what we're all about. So let me know. Be sure to leave a review on iTunes or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Just search transformationcoach.me, all one line, one word, just like the website. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you to get out there. I want you to own it. Every meal, every workout, every day. We'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, I'm back. Real quick, this episode has been brought to you by my transformed monthly coaching membership. If you guys struggle with being consistent with your nutrition and fitness plan, or if you're one of those people that really just struggles with losing weight, regaining, I need you to check this out because I think I've got the answer. All right, I've been working hard on this. I've surveyed everybody in my email list, my social media platforms, and I asked you to help me design the perfect program to conquer these types of danger zones. All right, I asked you what type of coaching you want. Is it online coaching, videos, group conference strategy calls, or one-on-one email systems where you are just accountable every day to your plan? And you guys answered. I've developed a program that I think you'll be very, very happy with. I've got 3 membership level options. And here's the thing though, guys, the rosters are filling up, and once they are full, and you're gonna have to be put on a wait list. So if you go to the website, www.transformationcoach.me, you can check out the membership options. If one of the rosters is full for our basic, elite, or prime memberships, if one of those fills up, then we will just leave a note there where you have the option to get on a wait list. Otherwise, jump on it while you can. There's no reason to continue to be trapped in that black hole of fitness doom where you start a new program, you get initial results, life happens, it throws you a curveball, we crash and burn, go back to the start. And round we go. Will we ever get results? Nobody knows, but probably not, right? And I want to help you through that. I know that with these membership options, I can help you get better results from any program. And if you need a specific program to follow, we can do that too. So check it out. Go to the website and let me know what you think. I'd love to get my hands on you and help you out. I will see you inside the course.